before I forget, I promised a lot of people report. Okay, so now we're recording. I'll pass it over to you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for, asking me to be on the call. I always feel honored when somebody wants to hear my story, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's kind of weird. But yeah, so I started I have been a customer since like 2001 or 2. I ordered Power 90, and I always called myself, if you hear my son, he's screaming in the background. I'm so sorry. My aunt can't get him away from me right now. I was just like the habitual, like ordering every infomercial workout ever, or a pill or a wrap, or, anything that I saw, trying to put a Band-Aid on trying to lose weight, because after college, I just gained a lot of weight. It was because I had such bad eating habits. And as I was in college, I was working full time. I was in college, walking around all campus. And so my bad eating habits never really caught up with me until I graduated. And like literally like 3 months after I graduated from college and sat on my butt all day long, it just packed on the pounds. And so I never really knew how to lose the weight. So I was buying all these different workouts all the time. And then I got P90X. And right before my wedding, and I did P90X, again, still not eating right, because I just didn't know what I was eating. I thought lean cuisine, since it said lean, was what was healthy for me, and slim fast because my mom did it. You know what I mean? Like just teas and stuck in the bathroom all the time because you're doing all this like Band-Aid stuff, right? So I got P90X from a friend, and I got ready for my wedding, and I lost a good amount of weight. I mean, not a lot, but I mean, because my eating habits weren't good. And went to my honeymoon and came back and went back to my bad habits and not working out, doing like maybe Turbo Jam here and there and whatever, and no accountability, and all the weight came back. And so I was about to turn 30, and I got the email from Beachbody. I kept getting emails about Shakeology, and of course that was just crazy expensive to me. I didn't understand the value of it. Nobody explained me the value. Just getting these mass emails from some company I didn't even know. And then Shaun T's new workout came out, Insanity. And I got that email. I was turning 30, and I knew that if I wanted to start a family and, I just needed to get healthy, and I was in a bad place because I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I felt. I tried to go to the gym, but, I just felt so insecure about my body, and all I did was the elliptical. That's all I did. It was like elliptical, and that was it. And then like at the gym, they had like Taco Tuesday, and they'd have all this weird food. Like I'm like, what? Wait a minute, I'm so confused. Is this supposed to be healthy? So anyways, I told my mom for my 30th birthday, I wanted either the Body Bug, if you remember that big old calorie tracker thing on the arm, or because Shane Johnson had it and I had to have it, or Insanity. And of course, at that time, Insanity was way cheaper than the Body Bug. So my mom goes, I'll buy you Insanity. So she got me Insanity, and I got myself the Body Bug for my 30th birthday, and I just started doing it, and it killed me because I was about 40 pounds overweight and didn't ever really work out consistently. So you guys all know Insanity is pretty crazy, especially when you haven't really done anything. But I was so determined to like actually do it this time. And because I got into Facebook, I started meeting people, and everybody was doing it because it just came out too. It came out that July for the summit. I mean, for that summer, and I got it right away. So everybody was really excited about it. So everybody had like this little community, and Facebook was a lot different back then, and you could actually go to the actual product page and actually meet people that were really doing it. And so I started getting that accountability and started working, and I started seeing results. And then my upline, Jennifer Reyes, found me, and we started talking, and she was like, hey, why don't you drink Shakeology? And I'm like, because that stuff's expensive, and I don't really like shakes. They're gross. I tried to slim fast, and she was like, well, how about I send you like a little sample? This is before we had individual packets. If you've heard the story before, I say it all the time because I think it's funny. She said that, there was this girl from Texas that was going to send me a powder substance and a baggie in the mail. And I was like, you crazy? I just saw a Lifetime movie, I was like, maybe I'll just buy it. I can return it, right, if I hate it. She's like, yeah. So I bought the bag of chocolate and fell instantly in love with it. I mean, my favorite candy is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, and that's basically what I made. I put milk and peanut butter and chocolate and ice in the blender, and I was like, oh my God, this is good for me. This is really good for me. Like, I can drink this and not like have to hide that I ate this. And so I fell in love. And then so she came to me and was like, well, why don't you be a coach? I mean, you're already a Beachbody lifer, I mean, I had Turbo Jam, Hip Hop Abs, P90X, yoga booty. I mean, I had all the things that, you know, you could order on an infomercial. So she's like, I was like, no, I went to school to be an engineer. And I got Bachelor of Science in Engineering Mathematics and a minor in Computer Science. I have a real job. Went to school and I got a real degree. So I don't do like this Mary Kay stuff. You know, I don't go house to house and have home parties and stuff like that. And she was like, no, just for the discount. She's like, you don't have to do it, but you get 25%. I'm like, well, I already like the company. They have everything they own, I mean, that they make. I like Shakeology, so that was like a real, and then Shakeology was $10 cheaper back then. So it was a really good deal, you know, 25% off. So I became a coach and I was like, but I'm not doing this, you know, for the business. I just want my discount. And one night I was watching some of the videos in the back office. I was like trying to figure out their CRM because that's what I did for a living. And it annoyed me. And I'm like, why would they do this? And so I was going there and watching the videos. And I watched a video of Christine Dwyer holding up this check for her quarterly bonus check. And it was like double what I made in a year with my real degree at my real job. And I was like, she made that in 3 months? Like, wait, maybe I should think about this again. Like, what the heck is going on? I was already doing what coaches did. I was posting on Facebook. I was in all the insanity groups, talking to people, meeting other people doing it. And so I started actually paying attention. That probably was like 3 months into me being a coach. And that's when I went from a hobby coach, you know, I mean, a discount coach, and I moved on to being a hobby coach because I really didn't have a strong why, but I thought it was cool that I could make money and get fit at the same time. And so I would run challenge groups. This is before we had challenge packs, but I would run little like 90-day competition groups with people. Some people would buy, some people didn't, and I would give prizes. And I would do that, like, you know, not very consistently. I wasn't getting on calls consistently. You know, I wasn't being consistent, but I would make a few $100 a month here and there. And then I went to my first summit, fell in love again with the culture, the people. And at this summit, there was like, I don't even think there was 1,000 people at the summit. You know what I mean? It was small, and it was Sean T's first summit. So we could actually like just we work out with him in the small hotel room and like run up to him and take a picture. You didn't have to earn anything, you know. I was so in love with him. And then I got pregnant. And then it was like, oh, okay, the shit's real now. Like, if I really want to stay home, then I need to make this a priority, not like a sporadic here and there and trying to talk to people. And, you know, I was always consistent with my workouts. Like, that's one thing that I, you know, as soon as I signed up to be a coach, that just put this new reinforcement in me. And so I was always a part of the product. Before we even had that as a vital behavior, I was always a part of the product because I always thought, like, why would anybody buy from me if I can't even show that I feel good or that it's working or that I made any progress? Not that I was at my goal at that time, but, you know, why would anybody, you know, come to me or believe me or whatever. And anyways, so I got pregnant and I was like, okay, we really need to make this work, honey, because we always had a dream that I was going to stay home. But there's no way because, you know, I made the bigger salary, but I knew this was going to be it. And so I made that commitment and I went from a hobby coach to a CEO. And that's when I started being super consistent. And at that time, we had challenge packs, we had challenge groups, we had all this different training that we didn't have in the beginning when I first started. So it became easier to help with my team, help myself with these vital behaviors. We had this thing called the Power Hour to keep me like focused on stuff. And so I just went there. And no, I'm not one of the coaches that recruits like 40 coaches a month or 40 Success Club points a month. You know, I hit 10, 15, 21, probably like a really big, really successful time for me. But my thing is I never stopped. I never quit. Even though all the no's and all the friends I lost and, you know, giving up Law and Order and all these different shows, you know what I mean? Which now I can't even watch Law and Order that I had at the time because it freaks me out now having kids. But, you know, you know, so I gave up a lot of stuff, but in 6 years, it's really hard in corporate America or probably in anything, you know, other than what we do to say you earned a cumulative of $1 million in your business. And that, you know, I may not recruit a lot, but I never gave up. And so, and one of my things was once I got pregnant with my daughter, I had a very strong reason why this couldn't work. And that's why if you ever do any of the Coach Basics or any kind of training, what's the first day of every training? Day one, Emerald to Diamond, Coach Basics. It's always what is your why? Because the reason that is the most important is because that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, you know, 100% better. And that is going to make you, not quit when it gets tough. Because anything in life is tough. It doesn't matter if you work in corporate America, if you work for yourself, if you open McDonald's, like anything you do, there's gonna be times that it's tough. And if you have a weak why, or your why is somebody else's why, like, you know, my why was to stay home. I didn't care about recognition. I didn't care that my name was on like leaderboards or whatever. My thing was just to make enough money so I could stay home. And to make enough money, I needed to have as many challenge groups as I possibly could and help as many people as I possibly could, and have as many people join me that were quality as I could. Because I knew that I didn't want my daughter in daycare. Now, other people, if your driving force is to be on leaderboards, to have recognition, that is okay. There is nothing wrong with that. If that is your reason, you have to stay true to your reason and not put the PC reason of like, I want to help people. Well, yeah, no crap. We all do. I mean, that's why we're Beachbody coaches. We want to pay it forward, but you need like a real, like, I want to either get out of debt, or I want to take my family on vacations, or I want to stay home with my kids, or I want to be on stage. Like those like real things, like, even though some people may say they're superficial, whatever, but they're yours, don't let anybody like downplay what your reason is. And if you are true to that, then you're not going to let anything stand in your way, you know? And that's where the personal development comes in, because personal development will help you build yourself up and give you the courage or the belief in yourself that you can do it, you know, to keep you going. Because I know for me, I never did personal development probably like the first 3 years of my business. And I just trying to figure things out. And being a minority, being a woman, and being in the engineering field, you kind of have to like have fake confidence to get through your day sometimes, because, you know, you have to kind of get through guy talk and, you know, just kind of overlook certain comments and stuff like that. So I think for a long time I had that, but then once I started actually digging deep into personal development and really finding out things about myself, maybe things I didn't want to know about myself or face about myself, but facing that, now I have more real confidence in myself and real belief in myself that I can accomplish anything as long as I work my ass off to get it. And like I said, the first few years of when they were pushing personal development on us, I was like, I kept thinking it was like, you know, that Saturday Night Live guy, you know, and everybody likes you. And I'm like, okay, kumbaya, I really don't want to spend time listening to this. But it really, really made a difference, you know, in my belief in myself, and not letting people dim my light, and not letting people say that my reasons of doing things wasn't their reason, so it wasn't cool, you know, like having the confidence in myself to just do what I needed to do to get to whatever my goal is. Like I said, my initial goal was to stay home when my daughter was born. And then, you know, I went to work after maternity leave. I only went to work 2 days a week, so it was part-time. And then with my son, you know, and that was partly my husband, I was ready to quit. My husband was like, no, we can't do it. You know, he was still scared for, you know, to put everything all into Beachbody. And when our tax season came and our CPA was like, you know, honestly, you're working is reason why you have to pay so much in taxes. Like, is that really worth you going for those 2 days a week? And I was like, no, see, honey, they told us we could quit. So I quit when I was pregnant with my son. And, you know, now that's next month, July, will be 3 years that I've been doing Beachbody full time. Well, I'm a mommy full time. I do this in between their nap schedules. You know, it's like the best thing. And now, you know, I'm able to stay home. I hit that goal, but now I never want to go work for anybody. Like, I don't want somebody telling me when I got to go to work, or, you know, I talk to some moms that like their kids are sick, and even though they're home with their kids, they're still thinking about work because their bosses or coworkers or somebody made them feel bad about taking care of their kids, you know, and so they can't fully be with their kids and fully give them the attention because they're worried about what their bosses or their coworkers are thinking, or maybe, you know, thinking that they may be faking it or whatever. You know, I never want to have to deal with that. And so now that's my driving force to help, you know, as many other people come up and have the life that I have, you know, me not having like my life, but like having the life of loving every minute of their life, you know, like looking out their window going, oh my God, this is my freaking view. You know, like I come from like a small town, and just like recently found out that I live on the wrong side of the tracks in that town, which I thought was pretty interesting. I never had the idea that I live on the wrong side of the tracks. Like, I was like, oh, really? But, you know, again, it just comes down to like believing in yourself and knowing that you shouldn't quit. And, you know, and really coming down to like putting your heart and soul into the people that do join you. You know, there's your challenge. You get one challenger, you get one person order something from you, you have become a leader. And that person is depending on you. You told them that you're going to be there for them and help them get through whatever they said and help them to get to their goals. You know, somebody's trying to be your team. You got one coach on your team. You said you're going to do that. And so you gotta do it. You gotta step up and make sure that you keep an open mind. You do your personal development. You learn how to get your story out there, whatever social media platform you're using, or face to face. If that's, you know, how you do it. I don't like face to face. It like freaks me out. Like people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, Shakeology." I'm like, "Oh, talk to me on Facebook. I don't want to talk to you in person." But I mean, you know, everybody, we have our thing. But that's the thing about personal development is like if you know you're okay with you, and you know where you excel, and you stay in that area. You know, like there's no reason to be ashamed of things that you are more comfortable with and not comfortable with. So that's a little bit of my story. That's a little bit of things that I know that has gotten me to where I am. And it really just comes down to knowing exactly why you're doing it, never quitting on yourself, because if you're quitting on yourself, you're also quitting on the people that did end up joining you. And then if you think about it, like there have been times where I wanted to quit. I'm not going to lie. This wasn't like all, you know, sunshine and rainbows and unicorns. You know, there's been many times where I was like, damn it, is this really for me? I mean, it'd be so much easier if I just went back to work and develop websites and sit on my ass all day long. Then I'm like, okay, then I'd probably gain weight again. I probably wouldn't be happy. You know, how many people, if I would have quit a year ago or 2 years ago, or even the first 3 months where a lot of people seem to be quitting lately, if you think about it, then Emma wouldn't be driving up and down California right now and retired her husband from the military. Dara wouldn't be home having lunch right now with her son and her husband because she'd be at work and never seeing her husband. Jessica wouldn't be traveling all over the country and taking her time to come see me. I'm like, come on, I want to see you, you know, and in being able to take care of her. Like there's all these different, me by saying yes and me by sticking to it, all affected everybody else. Not that I did it for them, but because I stuck with it. And so that's what I think too, is like, if you think like you're ready to quit, and like think about the little help that you did with somebody that made a big impact in their life. And if you would have quit, or you're going to quit, how many people that you can't help, you know? And so I was just thinking about that. Somebody said this was a scam the other day, and I was like, you know, it's a pretty cool scam, because I got a lot of friends that are earning a lot of money, staying home with their families, retiring their husbands, living the life that they've wanted, traveling when they want to travel. It's a pretty cool scam if you say so myself. So like I said, that's a little bit about myself. I mean, I could give more tips and tricks, but you know, honestly, I think it'd be better if I just do some questions and answers.
Thank you so much, Teresa. What I love, and that was like one of the first things when I met Teresa, I know sometimes we think top coaches are like they're like not human or something. We see them on social media and like their posts are amazing and everything. And we kind of compare ourselves and we think like, oh my gosh, like it's discouraging. We think I can never do that. And I remember the first time I met Teresa, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so normal. Like, you know, you're just normal. And that gave me hope, because it's like, well, she's normal. She's not perfect. And I don't mean that to like offend you.
No, it's very true.
You really realize like a normal person really can be crazy successful. And I think like with Teresa, what she said, like Teresa has grit. And I think that's a huge reason why she's been successful, is she has grit. And like she said, she knew her why and she stuck with it. And so it gives me hope watching her, knowing like, I can be, you know, I'm on the same path to be where she is in, you know, I'm only 2.5 years in, but in 6 years, like I can be, she just built, if you guys don't know her story, she just built her dream house. Like her and her husband, an amazing view, like her closet is like to die for alone. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that closet. But I think it's so important, like you said, to know your why. And people always ask me like, why do you get up at 5 a.m.? And it's like, because I know my why. And I know why I want this. And it's hard. Is it easy for me to get up? No, but I know it's going to pay off. Watching Teresa, watching Emma helps me to, you know, and knowing like grit, not giving up, keep going is what got her there and what got Emma there. And if you're doing the right activities. So anyways, thank you so much for sharing that, Teresa. I think that is like so simple, but yet it's so awesome to see a real life example of that. So let's open it up for questions, you guys. It's not very often you just get to like pick the brain of like somebody who's been in this company for so long and who has been so successful. So don't be shy to unmute and ask some questions.
I know everybody's always scared.
I know.
Okay. I have a question. You said you like to do all of your stuff online. You like to do Facebook and all of that instead of doing face-to-face, which is kind of where I'm at. So what did you do to meet more people online for you? Yeah.
For me, in the beginning, I mean, a lot of things are different now because social media has changed so much in the past, 7 years. Facebook, so much, and new platforms. Primarily, everything I do is on Facebook. In the beginning, I used to use Twitter and Facebook, but I don't like things that are fast. And Twitter's too fast for me. I can't keep up. But I met there's a few coaches that I had met on Twitter, but I moved them, of course, over to Facebook. But my bread and butter for the longest time, it has changed, but and groups, again, it is a little different now than, it was back then. But I was in groups where I had real interest in. It wasn't fitness groups. It was like groups that I really needed some help in something that was not fitness or food. So, when I had my daughter, I was in a pregnancy group. When she was born, I was in a nursing group. And these groups really were groups I was in because I had no idea about nursing. And nobody in my family nursed. I didn't know anything about breastfeeding. We had such a hard time in the beginning. So it was a support group for me. And so I found a lot of support groups. And by that support group, I did meet a lot of women in there, and we made some amazing relationships. Some of them didn't do anything, but I still talk to them just to this day. We followed each other with, through our babies and second pregnancies and third pregnancies. Well, I only got 2, but other people keep having babies. And so groups, but they were groups that I actually had in my hair groups. When I got my boobs done last year, I was in those groups, like groups that really had a real interest. And I was there with the heart of meeting people and the heart of learning, getting support from. I never used the groups. I know a lot of people, and there's some people on my team, and they've been successful in it. I just never did it, where they would post, oh, I'm having a challenge group, or I'm having a free clean eating group, within the group, because it was allowed. Fridays were, sell day or whatever. They let you do that. Even in some of the groups I was, they did have that, but I never did that because that was just me. My thing was I'm very personal. I like to talk and get to know them and stuff. And so that's where I met a lot of people there on team. Now, in the last 2 years, I would say the majority of me meeting people have been on my Facebook page. I do ads. And I do ads to meet people, I boost my posts. And I used to, a long time ago when ads first came out, I did do boosting the page, and so that's the reason I have so many people there. But now I just started doing this boosting posts, whether a post of a video of me and my daughter working out, or an invite to something, and that's how I meet a lot of people. And I bring them in, and either it's to join a free clean eating group. Free clean eating groups for me are just a way to build my network. I don't have the success rate of going from free group to a challenge group or to a paid group. I've never been that successful in that, but it is a way for me to meet new people. I bring them in, give them something for free. We become friends on Facebook, and then they see my posts and they see my life. And then, I do my Hays, how are you, from my, power hour and stuff like that. So I use that to build, and then like I said, just boosting a lot of different posts and meeting them and friend requesting them. And so I go to my page now and I'll pick people who have commented on something, or now with the love. So people who love something, I send those people a friend request, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Thanks for the love on my post on my page. Are you into fitness too? Are you a coach? And so, because some people, they're coaches that follow me. And so I want to make sure right off the bat, if they're already a coach, no, just kidding. I'm not that. But you know what I mean? You don't want to put, I'll answer questions or whatever, but I want to go talk to the new people. So that's where I am right now. Instagram, I'm trying to get a little bit better at. I actually hired somebody to help me with the posts because I hate tagging. I hate tags. I just want to post, but I have to tag everything. I'm not that creative. But, she makes really cool posts from once a day, and, we're going to start reaching out to people that way. I definitely want to find another social media platform to meet new people. It's just always good to have a plan B and a different way, different area to meet people. But yeah, so basically it was that. it was groups, and then now my page doing paid advertising. I mean, nobody's going to look for Teresa Hanson, you know?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Teresa, this is Julie from Tucson.
Hi, Julie. Hey, girl.
I'm a local girl. Yeah. My question is, do you do a challenge group every month? Do you just do one challenge group a month, or do you run multiple challenge groups at a time? I haven't done them yet, but one.
I do one a month. I tried the 2 a month, and that was too much for me. That was too chaotic for me. It was too much, because when I was still trying to focus on the people in my challenge group, I was already promoting another one. Like, it was just too much for me. So I do one a month. I used to do a start and end one. So it'd be like a 30-day challenge or a 60-day challenge. Now what I've been doing for the past year and a half now is I have one huge group, and we call it the Fit Family Sisterhood Wellness Group. And I still post and promote a start date, but they all go into the ongoing challenge group. Now I'm kind of getting away from that, because I'm kind of going more into like really getting back into challenge groups, like really focusing on challenge groups, not so much of just finding people to join. I want to go back to challenge groups of finding people to help them reach success, and then seeing if they want to pay it forward kind of way. So I think I'm going to be going back to like the 30, 60-day challenge groups, but using the My Challenger app. And keeping my Fit Family, so that's what it's in the works. You know what I mean? I'm going to start using what we have, because I feel like it's really awesome to keep track of people. I remember when I used to run the 30, 60-day ones, I used to do a point system, and whoever had the most points for posting or whatever, they would get a prize. And holy hell, that took forever, you know, scrolling, who posted, who didn't post, you know, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, I need an assistant. But I would do it anyways, you know, and I had the spreadsheet and everything. It's the engineer brain in me. But with My Challenger tracker, you don't have to do that. It tells you right there how many times they checked in for their workouts and their Shakeology, you know, so you don't have to be spending time scrolling. I'm just like, oh, they did she only did a 40, she did a 50. Bam, you get a prize. So, so I'm going to be going back. I haven't figured out how to do like an ongoing group on the My Challenger app. So I might keep the one on Facebook as like the graduate program kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I only do one, and I only do a clean eating group probably once a quarter.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask a question, Teresa.
Okay.
What would you say throughout the past like 7 years or 3 years or whenever, when you've been like really focusing and really seeing a lot of success, what would you say is your daily, like no matter what, non-negotiable, like even when you're busy and crazy, that you do those things no matter what, and you can say like that has moved my business forward? Like what specific actionable items?
My specific action that no matter if I'm moving, vacation, or, you know, doesn't matter what, is posting on Facebook, posting something. Like, even if it's just one dumb thing, like I just go, like I'm uninspired, just go Google like fitness motivation and find something and slap it on my face. You know, I will, and then I post it. I did it one for today. I always make sure that I'm present on Facebook, because I really feel by, you stop that momentum on Facebook, you lose trust, you lose credibility, and so posting on Facebook, no matter what I'm doing, if I'm sick, I'll post, I'm sick, I'm dying, something. So Facebook for sure. Checking on my challengers, always making sure that's like that. Those are like the things I do in the morning. I go in, I check, what's going on in my challenge group, is somebody not slacking, is someone questions or whatever. So checking on the people that have already trusted me in some way or another, checking in the Team Motivate groups or, emails like that about the team. So I always check the people who already decided that they wanted me to be something for them, whether it was their coach or their mentor or whatever. So those things, no matter what, that's what I do. And then after that, it's kind of like when I'm working, it's always adding at least 3 people, and always doing a, hey, how are you? Like, so those are the posting on Facebook and checking on my people, or what I do no matter what. And then, when I'm working again, it's that power hour. I have not really strayed that far from the power hour. It works, and it keeps, I have a to-do list called AnyDo on my phone. And so sometimes I'll sit down and be like, it's so pretty out there. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Let me go get this. Okay. Talk to 3 people. Go to my birthday thing. One thing that I have been doing probably for the last 2 months, but I never did before, and I find it so awesome to start conversations with people, is the birthday thing. Instead of going and posting happy birthday on their wall, I send them a private message. And it just starts the conversation going, because it's not just a regular, hey, how are you? And, some people are like, oh, what now? What do you want me to join? You know what I mean? This is like, hey, I hope you have a great day. I just saw it was your birthday. Bye. And then, some people like, oh, thanks. Now, then I'll start the conversation. Like, did you do anything fun today? Did you get anything cool? I saw the picture. Like, go check their profile. I'm like, oh, I saw that you guys went to blah, 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 or, whatever. And so that really has been very helpful in getting conversations started with people that I maybe had fallen through the cracks because I didn't track it, and I didn't write down who I was talking to or whatever. I got people saying, hey, I saw your new house, or I saw, your abs, or, something. And then so we start then the conversation always ends up about what's coming up next, or, planting another seed. Maybe that first seed didn't grow and now I'm planting another one, and hopefully the season's right for them, So that for me, I could say has been really, really helpful getting conversations started again.
Cool. I love that. Thank you. And I think it's so important. Like you said, they go hand in hand. Like if you're posting consistently, people so often bring it up with you because they're seeing these posts every day, So thank you. That's awesome. Anyone else?
Oh yeah, personal development. Like I cannot talk more about personal development and having an open mind to learn something. Like never stop being a student. That is definitely going to help you, find another social media platform to work on, whatever, you know what I mean? Free podcast, whatever. I really feel that has helped me a lot too, of like, but also too, one thing I want to mention that sometimes we watch a lot of like top coaches seeing things that they're doing. And even though whatever you're doing now has been rocking it, but you see this top coach who's been doing this, whatever, and he's like, oh, well, maybe I should change that because so-and-so is doing it. Don't change something that's not broken. I mean, if you've been doing something, and I don't know if anybody got on the Brian Tracy call, he says, try something 7 times before you give up on it. And, if you tried it 7 times and it's still sucking and it's not working, okay, stop. Don't do it anymore. And, try something else. But if it's working, if you've been successful at it, whatever it is, don't stop doing it, like even if maybe you're burnt out on it, but it's working, don't stop. I think that for me, that's a mistake that I learned. I started really getting on all these, because now they have all these Facebook groups, right? And all these top coaches get on and they're sharing what they're doing here, doing there, and how they recruit more, and I think that really messed up a lot of my way of doing, because I was very challenge group focused. And then I switched to kind of being more like business and recruiting focused. And now I'm not finding a lot of coaches that love the culture and love the products yet. And when they're first, that's what we, a lot of us were already, beach body lifers. When nothing was going to stop us from being a beach body lifer, whether it was a bad customer service rep or whatever, we weren't ready to like blow up the newsfeed about how bad, because we just figured the company as a whole is amazing. That one person was just stupid, and just let it go. So we need to fight, so that's what I want to start shifting more back to more challenge group focus to help people see how amazing we are and how amazing our products works. And we're not a Band-Aid. We really have great workouts, and 21 days is awesome, but you need to do 21 days at least 3 times, like that kind of thing. Because that was what's working for me. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs to do that too. I'm just saying that was what was working for me, and I made a shift because I've been listening, to too many other things going on, and I feel like that may have slowed down a little bit of my business. But like I said, if it's working for you, keep doing it. If you try it a few times, and I mean like 7 times, like Brian Tracy said, 7 times, and it's not working, okay, stop doing it. Do something else, so that's another little piece that I'm learning myself. I screw up all the time. I'm telling you, don't be afraid to fail. If you see some of my videos, I fall on my face even working out. Like, it's okay to fall on your face. And share it, because it's funny. People like to laugh at you.
Yeah. I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I'm just wondering, do you recommend doing all of the workouts? You know, like,
I recommend you doing the workouts that you're going to like.
because I have the ones that I like, but I have like a knee injury, so I'm a little afraid to do some, because I modify even master's hammer and chisel. But, then I feel like maybe I should try all of them so I'm a better reference to people to say,
I don't believe so. I believe you should do what you love. Like,
Okay.
I'm going to be honest, I tried country heat. Probably not going to do it. Sorry.
Okay.
Can't do it. I love country music. I'm a country girl. My family's from Texas. Like, I love me some Kirk Straight. I didn't like the workout. I'm not. I mean, if somebody said they like country music and they like country and they want a slower thing, I would definitely recommend it. When I'm talking to them and I'm doing my 5-step and saying what kind of workout you want, whatever. But I'm not going to do it because I got to be true to me, and my audience has to know that I'm authentic of what I'm sharing. Because if I share something that I don't really like, and they find out or something, you know what I mean? And then because Facebook, social media finds out everything. Like, don't lie, don't stick your tummy out and then suck it in, because people are going to come after you. You got to be really true and authentic on there. I'm not going to bash it. I'm not going to say anything about it, you know what I mean? But I'm just not going to probably promote it as much as I would size or 21-day fix extreme. I hardly ever promote 21-day fix because I tried it and I kept quitting because I didn't like that. But extreme was like my thing. So stay true to what you like and stay true to what you can do.
Okay.
There's no problem trying them out. I mean, on Beachbody On Demand, you can try out different workouts. They have different things that you can try out to see if you like it. Then go for it, but don't force yourself to like something. Just don't bash it. Just promote what you like and leave it at that.
Great. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. And Destiny, thank you.
Teresa, I have a quick question for you. And you've probably have friend kids are in the background watching TV. You've probably been asked this a lot, but what are some of your favorite personal development books that you would recommend?
Oh, okay. So I have quite a few. Just recently, like right now, I'm really getting into prayer. Like, I'm learning how to pray. So I've been, it's just this new thing, not a new thing, but somebody actually taught me how to do it. And I'm like, oh, dang it. 37 years I've been doing this wrong. So right now I'm reading Circle of Prayer. Before that, I was reading The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell, which was a really big eye-opener for me. I thought I was a badass leader, and really, I'm at level 1, so I'm working to be level 2, but it was a good, and I listen to audio, by the way. I don't read. I mean, I do know how to read, but I would fall asleep. So I listen to the audio when I'm driving. So 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell was really amazing. It's Jillian Michaels. That was really a good, God, what is the name of Jillian Michaels one? It's her latest one. And that one really was, for me, that was a lot of self-realization for me. Like, some of the things that she says was really good to get past the wall that we put up on ourselves from being successful. Of course, everybody loves You're a Badass, but I like this Jillian Michaels one. Unlimited, that's what it's called. I'm looking at my books right now. Unlimited was really good. Anything by, like, John Maxwell, Brian Tracy, the guy from Success Magazine, Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. That was a really good one. The Magic of Thinking Big. That, for me, was a really big game changer. I listened to that when I was wrapping presents 2 years ago, and it took me the whole time when I was wrapping all the presents. So that's what I listened to. It was because I was getting sick of Christmas songs. But that one was really, really good, because how my takeaway from that was, like, everybody always says, you think about it, and manifest it and do. I'm like, this is bullshit. What do you mean? If I just sit here and think about it, something's going to happen. But it wasn't, now that I read that book, I realized that it wasn't that just manifesting it or thinking it or saying it out loud was going to do it. Is that if you manifest it or think about it, that means you believe that you can do it. And if you believe you can do it, there's nothing's going to stop you from hitting whatever that goal was. And that's what I had been missing for a long time. And by reading that was like 2 years ago. I was like, oh, I get it now. Okay, so if I think it and manifest it, that means I'm going to do whatever it takes to hit that, whatever that goal was, you know. So those are just the three that I top of my head that I can think of. Lisa Nichols is another book that I don't have my office set up yet, but Lisa Nichols has a really good one too that I thought, again, audio. I'm an audio girl. Podcasts are really good for learning, I think. Amy Porterfield's really good with social media. Shalene Johnson, Sean T's Trust and Believe is really good, like motivational, like get you pumped up. And also, if you guys don't know, I'm really in love with him. And I can only say that out loud because my husband doesn't feel threatened. Not feel threatened. And I'm like, no, seriously, babe, you have nothing to worry about. He'll like you before he likes me. But yeah, so I hope that helps. I mean, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Teresa, what was the name of that last book that you were talking about? I missed the title on that.
Which one? Lisa Nichols?
The one when you were wrapping presents.
Oh, The Magic of Thinking Big.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And do you have do you just get your audiobooks on iTunes, or do you use like Audible, or?
I use iTunes, that way I can get it on my phone and my computer and, you know, everything, like my Apple TV, because sometimes I'll listen to it if I'm working. Yeah, so I you pay a little bit more, but I like the idea that I can get it on anything that I have. You know, Apple TV. Yeah. I even use Apple TV to listen to Janelle Summers' weekly calls, because you can go on YouTube on there, and I go look at her so it's on the big screen while I'm working on my computer or on my phone, because I work like this. With my phone and my computer. So if I have it on the big screen, then I can listen. That's how I get my my daily dose of her, or her weekly dose of her trainings.
All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
So Teresa, I'm going to put you on the spot again for a second. Hopefully this isn't too personal, but would you mind sharing just a sneak peek of your income progression? Because I know a lot of coaches, my first year was I felt like I was working nonstop and I hardly made anything. You know, can you kind of share where you are the first year up until just kind of your progression? Just because I think
my progression, yeah, I actually have because I do it in my sneak peeks all the time, where I share it. So let me pull it up just so I can get the right numbers. I always do yearly. I always do what I made the July because August is my anniversary. So let me just, where is that at? No, that's not it. Where are you? Okay, so in July, so I signed up in August 2009, and July 2012, I made it. That was the first time I made 1,000. I made 1,000. So it took me about a year to make 1,000, and just a month before that's when I hit diamond. So it took me about 10 months since I signed up to be a diamond. And then, so in July 2010, I made 1,017 for the whole month. And then in July 2011, I made 2,823. And then July 2012, for the whole month, I made 9,157. Then July 2013, that whole month, I made 18,804. And this is when I started getting bonuses that month too, for being 2-star and 5-star. And then July 2015, I made $41,247 that month. And July of last year, I made $54,029. So that's my progression on a month, the July before my anniversary.
Wow. Not too shabby.
Yeah. I know, it's pretty crazy. Like when I look at those numbers, sometimes I'm still like, are you serious? Like now that I hit 8-star, I gave myself $1,000 a week raise for moving up in rank. See, I was never really into rank advancement. It was more about volume and, trying to do that. But then I started capping out. And so I was leaving money. So then I had to kind of shift gears about, trying to move up into rank. And so I'm still capping, which is it's a good thing to have, but it's also kind of sucky when you're like, I just left like $1,000 on the table. It hurts me, but I did. I gave myself $1,000 raise for moving up, going to 8-star. And right now I'm week 2 of 9-star qualification.
Yay! Congratulations! That's exciting.
Great qualification. Those 6 weeks are horrible.
Oh, right.
Let me tell you what. This is another example of me, and kind of hopefully it gives you some inspiration of not giving up. I started my 8-star qualification in December. My 8th coach that went diamond was in December. It took me 6 months to actually hit it. I went 5 weeks and lost it because somebody didn't want to go emerald, or they couldn't have, somebody didn't want to go active, like something small. And then I lost it like in week 3 because guess what? My butt didn't pay attention to my husband's PV. And so even though he was being active, he was in 100 PV. So I lost it. And then it took me a while. And then I got back to 6-star qualification. And then guess what? The last week, lost it. So then I had to do it again. So there's many times I wanted to quit. There's many times I cried. I was outside crying going, why? Because but then I was like, you know what? I picked myself up after a glass or a bottle of wine. And, it was Thursday and I went, okay, what do I got to do? That didn't work. So guess what? I got to go over here, and do that. But, and also too, recruiting, sign up at least for coaches is always a goal of mine too. Like if you're going to be a CEO, if you want to be a CEO, then you need to put a goal of non-negotiable of 10 and at least 4 coaches if you're going to be a CEO.
Successful 10. Yeah.
And not give up. I could have gave up. I could have said, okay, give up. I'm not doing it. But I didn't, because I knew there was money from my family, money from my kids' college that was just sitting there and being wiped every week because I wasn't ranking that seat.
Right. Well, I think that's so awesome to hear, because I have so many coaches who give up after 3 months and they're like, it just wasn't working. And I'm like, you're right. It takes longer than 3 months. It takes longer than 2 years. For you started seeing the really big money when you were in here for 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that from so many top coaches, and they say, you have to think of it as 4 years of working on your undergrad. Yes. It takes you 4 years to get a degree in college. Give Beachbody 4 years, and by the end of those 4 years, usually after that, you're making a ton of money. It's just who's going to stick around that long,
Exactly.
A lot of people aren't willing to because it's not fast. It's not easy. It's hard, and you cry and you stress. But then it's so worth it in the end. Like what you said, you're making way more money than what most people make in a year in 1 month. That's insane. But I don't know, it's just cool. Don't you guys think to see she's totally normal, but yet she did it,
I'm such a dork. I know. People are like, you're what? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm down here. All the other ones are up there. I'm down here working out. I just, we're all just normal people. And I think that's what is, whoa, I just got a text message that I just hit 2,000 followers on my Instagram. Woo-hoo.
Yay, awesome.
That took a long time. But sorry, totally digress. And I'm such that person too. I'm like, woo, shiny. Oh, a lot of quail in my backyard. I'm such out there. So don't think that, none of us are perfect. We always show the best on Facebook. It's just the way things are. Yeah. That was my driving force. I think it was my 3rd summit and second or third summit, and I was looking at them on stage and seeing people shredding their mortgage statements, and these were just moms, not just moms, but I went to this university and I did all this stuff, and all the people that I went to college were in debt, or laid off, because Tucson isn't a very tech town, you know, so a lot of, you know, people I went to school with, they were laid off, they weren't making stuff, they had to move back with their parents. And these were, you know, people that were, you know, they may have not gone to college, they were just going day by day, and they were like buying their dream homes and shredding their, you know, mortgage statements and winning financial freedom awards. And I was like, yeah, we really need to get better at this and figure out how to be better at this and figure out how many people to help, you know, kind of thing. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist or Bill Gates to be successful in this. I mean, look what a dork I am, and I'm kind of having a good time.
Thank you. Anyone else we have time for maybe one last question.
Okay, I have a statement, not really a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So I have to say, so I've only been doing it a month. So, but like all of this talk about star ranking and all of that, it's completely, I don't get it. It's overwhelming to me. Am I supposed to understand that now, or?
No, some of this stuff, I used to have to go look in the FAQs going, what, how do you do this? It's like, you know, none of them. I mean, you focus, you talk with Carrie, you know, you guys get your initial goals and you figure out how to do that and then keep going. Don't try to get everything all at once. You get overwhelmed and then you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Great.
Totally. And I think, yeah, working on one bite at a time of that elephant. You can't. Mm-hmm. And my husband was always telling me this because I'm like, I need to get to this rank. And he's like, babe, first focus on getting to 2-star, you know, first focus on this, you know, whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay, you're right. It's good to dream big, but you have to have a plan to get to the littler steps. Otherwise it is very overwhelming.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's why I think a lot of times people get overwhelmed and then they quit, you know, or they give up. And it was like, just do the simple things, get into your the coach basics or whatever the training that your upline has, do it, get on the calls or watch the recordings, like do those things that become a student first and then go attack, you know, get yourself your results with the workout, fall in love with Shakeology, fall in love with a workout, find something that you love, you know, and do the trainings, get on the calls, get on, you know, make sure you schedule, your upline is saying, hey, let's do a one-on-one, or, you know, make the time, you know, sacrifice something if you have to do it. But all the tools are here, you know, whether your upline is giving to you or not, they're all in the back office too. So, you know, I hear people say, oh, my upline was supporting me. I'm like, does your upline pay your bills? You know, I mean, is your upline's responsibility to make sure you feed your kids? No, that's your responsibility. So you're responsible to go do it. And if your upline's not doing it, go to the one before that. They have it listed in your back office who you need to talk to. And if not, I mean, so many of us, you know, me, Emma's, you know, all of us, a lot of the older coaches, we didn't have all this stuff. But did that mean we stopped? You know, like, again, it comes down to your upline is not responsible. Your upline's job was to recruit you. Now it's your job to go and make something out of this. You know, and so, but take it little bit by little bit by little bit. Okay.
That is a great way to end. I love that so much. So if you guys don't already, go check out Teresa's page. I think, you know, I always tell you guys, like, don't try to copy them or don't compare yourself to them, because obviously she's been doing this longer, but it's good to go see what kind of Facebook post she's putting out there. Does, you know, now that you know her, does that personality show through? Like, how can you show your personality through your posts? And so I think it's always good to go look at the coaches and say, how many times a day is she posting? What times a day? What types of work? What types of posts? And just kind of say, okay, now how does my page look? And kind of look and try to emulate them, but not copy them, like be inspired and learn from them. So her Facebook page is, isn't it just Teresa Hanson? Yeah. Is it her name, right?
Teresa Hanson. On Instagram, it's the same page, Teresa A. Hanson.
Okay.
Then, with the A in there, because somebody else decided to take my name. Shoot, I had to put an A in there.
Okay. So yeah, go check out her Facebook page. But thank you so much, Teresa. I think that is just exactly what I think so many of us just need to be reminded of, is just that consistency really is real, that compound effect, that having grit, knowing your why and letting that why drive you. And your why is going to be different than someone else's. And it's okay. Like, it's okay to be motivated by money and being able to pay for certain things. Like, I think sometimes we feel bad when we're like, oh, well, I just want to help people. And it's like, Okay, yes. But what's your real why? Like, it's okay to say you want to make money. It's not, doesn't make you a bad person. Like,
No, we gotta pay bills.
families.
Yeah. Our kids want to go to school and want to go to college, and we want to eat, and you know, we want to live a life. We want to create a life that you don't need a vacation from, you know. And you want to, like, you know, like we're trying to think if we should take a family vacation this summer, and I'm like, but why?
You got everything here.
So, yeah, you know, that's what and money is going to do that. Money is not evil. It's what you do with it. Same thing with like guns. Guns are not evil. It's the people who are holding it, you know, it's us. It's what we use with it. And that money, like one of my coaches just posted, you know, her daughter had to go to the ER at noon on a weekday. And because she doesn't work anymore at her normal job, she was able to take her daughter at noon and be there for 12 hours and be there for her daughter. Like, the money made that possible.
Right.
If we didn't have Beachbody, she'd have to, and her boss was not a very nice person. So it probably would not have, she wouldn't probably been able to do that for her daughter. So money is not evil. Money makes life a little bit better.
Definitely. Definitely. So once again, thank you so much, Teresa. You're so awesome.
Thank you
everyone for hopping on. And if you have any additional questions, you could obviously ask me, reach out to Teresa, send her a quick message or whatever. But all right, I will let you guys get back on your Thursday. But thank you so much for hopping on.
See you in August, Julie, at Super Saturday.
Great.
Okay, bye.